Alright, so for starters, I don't love the tap land on turn 2 instead of Molten Impact, but I do appreciate the cards being good, so we'll keep the hand that has good cards. Did you discuss Uthgart's Fury earlier? Saw it mentioned, seems good with Kitten. Yeah, I kind of shied away from it because my thought was that it sort of overlaps with Molten Impact in terms of what sort of things that it answers. And it's also kind of expensive. I don't really want to play more expensive cards necessarily. So that ultimately was why I didn't want to run it. The 3-color version of this we were playing previously also, I really didn't want to play around double red. Oh wow, fatefully absencing the Fable of the Mirrorbreaker token while you're on the play is like just the saddest thing I could imagine doing with your turn 3. Alright, so opponent wants to do a lot of nothing. In that case, I think I just discard removal spells. Displacer Kitten, that's going to be cool. If I play Key to the Archives, I kind of get the feeling the opponent's going to blow it up, which would make me sad. But if they don't blow it up, then that's, like, excellent. I think I'm going to hedge my bets and just play Fable of the Mirrorbreaker instead. I don't want to get Key to the Archive countered or hit with a Void Shatter or whatever. Okay. Galem's fine too. I mean, I guess the logic is that eventually this turns into a 5/6 that's kind of hard to remove in a way that isn't counterable. I mean, that's... maybe that's good? Undercity Plunder. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go with, I'm fine losing Molten Impact, and then no. You can have a card, opponent. Good for you. Do I want to get this Consider in hand? I kind of want to draw a land. Nah. We'll be fine, probably. Maybe not. Yeah, we can get rid of the Consider. Okay. I regret my choices. Should have cast the Consider. No counterspell, opponent, please. Counterspell would be rude. Yeah, that hurts. Oh. Wait, this is any spell? Oh, I thought Undercity Plunder gave a creature spell. That sucks. Now, super punished for missing that land drop then. Dang. Alright, let's see. Swing with the Goblin Shaman, because I need more treasures. That's a very interesting timing to choose to Vanishing Verse rather than just block with a 3/4, but deal. I meant to play the Key to the Archive. I did not realize I was already in my second main phase, apparently. Alright, this game is getting very weird. Okay, well... I mean, I guess I can do this now. Do you have a response? We have a Wandering Emperor that we're going to play down-ticking on Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Okay, sure.
Feel the energy of battle.
That's fine by me.
Like water.
Okay. Oh, hey, Tainted Indulgence is actually really cool with Kalim. I dig it. That's a cool synergy. Alright, my turn. Land drop. Key to the Archive. Really should have already had this in play, so now I could start blinking it with Displacer Kitten, but whatever. Why not? Lightning Helix seems wrong. I guess we take Putrefy. Get rid of... Make Disappear? Maybe? No. Kitten? Probably Kitten? Probably Kitten. And then we kill Wandering Emperor. Okay, pass the turn. Tasha. That's probably fine. Do I care? I mean, I guess they get to get back Kitten, which is inconvenient. Exile something I control. Huh. I could make disappear that. But then it's a lot harder to resolve Kitten. Nah, you know what, opponent? You can have a Kitten. Sure.
Fight fair. Absolutely not.
Yeah, it's just Kitten, right? It's just Kitten.
Don't worry. It's only a little necromancy.
Okay. I don't really care about Reflection of Kiki Jiki. We are fine with that getting tapped. Kalim comes back. That's fine. As far as I know, this thing's legendary, right? Yeah, okay. So I don't need to worry about more copies of that. I get to play Displacer Kitten. We have much protection for Displacer Kitten. Take 10 damage this turn. Not really stressed about that. Can't attack the Tasha. Pretty fine with that.
Mortals.
Wandering Emperor. Okay, opponent having a Displacer Kitten with Wandering Emperor is kind of a problem. I don't really want to have to deal with that. Then we will blink our Key to the Archive, trying to find a Time Warp. I could take Approach of the Second Sun. I mean, I guess that's kind of a win con. Doesn't sound very interesting, though. Doomblade does kill Displacer Kitten, but then they just get it back with Tasha, which isn't interesting. Does kill Kalim, which maybe that's more interesting. I don't know. Let's go with Doomblade.
It seems I have a new rivalry.
So there will be no attacking. Oh. I meant I wasn't going to attack, opponent. You were definitely supposed to attack. Also, probably activate Tasha again after blinking it. So that was weird, but okay. Do I care about any of this? I don't think I care about any of this. Fading Hope is neat. So I could Fading Hope the Displacer Kitten, if I wanted to. Word 2 is kind of annoying, but if I wanted to, I could. I think we just pass here. I think my plan is to just keep blinking Key to the Archive. What's the longest arena match you've ever played? I mean, I think 60 minutes or like 65 minutes or something like that is the maximum you can get to. I'd kind of like my opponent to ultimate Tasha, because they're going to tutor a... what do you call it? Siphoner for me? And then I can put the Siphoner back in my hand with Fading Hope. So green, black, Putrefy Kalim, blink Key to the Archive, Void Rend, Icky. So I have to cast something to blink Key to the Archive. Problem is mostly that I don't want to cast any of these things. And I guess I cast Doomblade on Displacer Kitten? No, because then they just get it back. I guess I cast Doomblade on Kalim. I have no clue what all is on this stack at this point. They probably should have made me pay the Ward 2 first. They kind of got penalized for not doing that. Again? Ugh. Gross. Alright, I guess I'll take Approach of the Second Sun then? I don't even know. I don't want Approach of the Second Sun. Destroy Reflection of Kikijiki. Okay. I don't care about Reflection of Kikijiki. I mean, I could make disappear that, I guess. Do I have any reason to? Not really. I guess I could Fading Hope the Displacer Kitten and blink the Reflection of Kikijiki. I guess I'm probably supposed to do that? Sure. I have legitimately lost track completely of what is going on this stack. I have no clue if this is correct. I'm kind of just guessing. Yeah, I mean, I guess this is fine. Let's get rid of the kitten. Okay. Sure. Do I want to sack this 2/2 just to get a treasure? Maybe? I don't know. I can't tell anymore. No? I guess? I don't know. Yeah, they can get the kitten again, but I mostly wanted to bounce the kitten, not to deny them the kitten. I did it so that I could have a kitten to discard to Key to the Archive and Fable the Mirrorbreaker. Howdy, Mary. Yeah, we got a lot of cats going on. So many cat. Much, much, much cat. I really, really, really just want to get Key to the Archive to find me a time warp. Yep. You can have a Displacer Kitten opponent. That's fine. Undercity Plunder. Now that's actually, like, legitimately a problem. Because I can't discard this kitten. But I kind of have to discard this kitten. Yuck. I really wish I had more Fading Hopes in my deck right now. Sure. You have more kittens, opponent. That's fine. Damage is taken. Yep. So we ping the Tasha, we blink the key. I really want to find a time warp. Oh. Okay, lightning bolt. I guess we get rid of the make disappear. Land's no fun. Combat. Do we trade the 2/2 for a treasure? No, apparently I don't get that option. Okay. So no time warp. Maybe I should have fished for the time warp there at sorcery speed. Yeah. If they attack with everything here... Okay, cool, they don't. I was going to have to not blink my Key to the Archive, which would have been a problem. Down to 2. Sure. We bolt the Diviner, blink the key, hope the opponent doesn't have a counter spell. Make disappears mostly irrelevant. Yeah, none of this matters to me. I just really want to hit Time Warp and then draw a... whatchamacallem? Saiba Syphoner. Decline. Counterspell. No, that's not helpful. My life total is a little too low for anything else useful to happen. That's a Saiba Syphoner, which means that if I had hit Lightning Helix, there definitely could have been a chance. So let's go with Lightning Helix the Tasha to try to bait the opponent into using a spell now to save the Tasha by fizzling Lightning Helix with Displacer Kitten. Alright, come on. Oh, we did it. Okay, I think that might still be good enough if the opponent doesn't have a counterspell. Come on, opponent. No interaction one time. One time, opponent. No interaction. Just have literally nothing. You can do it. I believe in you, opponent. Alright, fingers crossed. Saiba Syphoner, get back Time Warp. Cast Time Warp. Blink Saiba Syphoner. No! Negate! Negate, opponent? Ah, rude. Successfully played around not countering the Lightning Helix. Ah. If we had found that Siphoner or that Time Warp at any point earlier. Rude, 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 rude. Alright, so let's do more instant speed stuff. And less Molten Impact stuff. And probably more Negate-y stuff. I suppose Kalim's moderately annoying. But I can't counter that anyway. Am I supposed to not really value Make Disappear very highly compared to Negate? I think I still hold on to Fading Hope for the value of protecting my own spells. I mean, some Make Disappear is probably still useful. I don't know. Let's go with that. Could Kalim work as a sideboard piece in our deck? No, I don't think so, because you need 4 Kalims for it to be good. And they have a 3-drop that, like, goes and aggressively tutors for more copies of Kalim. Like, I think that takes up too much real estate. Unfortunately, we need 2 lands for a hand to be keepable. Unfortunately, we need 2 lands for a hand to be keepable. Okay. Well, throw away some lands and a Fading Hope. Okay. Expressive Iteration's a good card. No complaints about having access to it. Hoping they don't have a 2-mana counterspell for the Fable with the Mirror Breaker. They don't. That's delightful. Okay. Good ol' nuttin' from opponent. I profoundly dig that. I would love to Fable of the Mirror Breaker discarding nothing. One of the advantages of sideboarding out all of our bad cards. Do not draw a lot of bad cards. And then I think I'm just passing, holding up Memory Deluge here. Tainted Indulgence is fine. Do I Memory Deluge here? I think I Memory Deluge here. They can play Tasha. I don't think I care if they play Tasha. Key. Pretty good. Fable is solid. Or do I just take a land drop? I think I probably just take the land drop. Maybe I'm supposed to take the Fable, because I'm going to try to Expressive Iteration next turn if they don't tap out anyway. Undercity Plunder. Alright, well. Get rid of Jwari Disruption and nothing else. Yeah, or we could just top deck Fable of the Mirror Breaker anyway, so it doesn't matter. That works too. Now, this is pretty awkward. I think I'm just supposed to fire off the Saiba Syphoner here for card advantage purposes. Getting back Expressive Iteration. Hoping they don't have Jwari Disruption. Knowing that it's kind of hard for them to have Jwari Disruption in a 3-color deck. Alright. I mean, I could just get the Jwari Disruption and then play it as my land drop for the turn. Am I comfortable with that over Expressive Iteration? I think so. I've got an engine on board that they have to untap and interact with. And it's true. They do have a Jwari Disruption up here. So it is in their deck. But I don't think they can play very many copies. So in a very roundabout way, we successfully got a land off of our Expressive Iteration. Just took 6 mana to do it. Fatefully Absent, a Reflection, sure. That's fine. Ooh, Discover the Formula, huh? Now that's a cool Magic card. I feel like I should probably play Key to the Archives over Discover the Formula here, just so that I'm still holding up Negate. But, I mean, I dig it. Yeah, none of these are good. Alright, we'll play Approach and get rid of Approach. Fragment Reality. I gotta say, the fact that I'm not actually playing any creatures that cost 3 or less mana is kind of a bummer here. Okay. I really don't feel like this card is playable in the vast majority of situations. But it is good at punishing my particular brand of deck building. Frost, Boil, Snarl, unfortunately slightly tapped. Not exactly what we're looking for here. I will note, we haven't actually ran into any mana issues yet, so maybe this could be some different land, and not a 2-color land. Diviner of Fates, huh? Do I care about that? Probably. I feel like I can absorb energy that without feeling too bad about it. Somehow my opponent's at 8 life already? Test of Talents. Ooh, spicy opponent. I don't think Test of Talents is a card that should actually be seeing play right now, because there's not much in the way of Galvanic Iteration, I don't think. But, okay. Yeah, apparently 2/2 beats gets there. Kappa's Highland Fragment. Out of the sideboard? Or in the main board? Because, I couldn't justify it as just being a card that was completely useless against every aggro deck. I think here on the draw I trim a Fading Hope for another Make Disappear. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to be concerned about Diviner of Fates. Main deck you wanted 4 of. That sounds completely absurd to me. I get... How many board wipes? Oh, it is much, much, much better in Historic. I would completely agree with that. But Alchemy, I'm not certain I like the idea of it at all against the aggro decks. We're going to mulligan for a hand that has, you know, more lands than 0. And I guess we're going to keep this? What are we going to get rid of? Negate, maybe? Yeah, probably Negate. No, probably Saiba Syphoner. No, probably Negate. Oh well. I'm hoping they don't hit me with the discard spell here. It'd be rude. Alright, we'll discard a mountain and nothing else. Mostly has worked out. Opponent has missed their 3rd land drop, which is relatively good for me. I would very much like to absorb energy, making all of my instants cost 1 less. That sounds super good. Sounds very super good right about now. Do I cast this Memory Deluge now? Nah. I can do it on my opponent's turn and fight over it and still win on the opponent's turn, I think. Probably? Yeah, there's no 1-mana counter spells that anybody plays. Admittedly, Memory Deluge, kind of a weaker card if it costs 1 less mana. But still a good card. What are we going to do here? Probably Saiba Syphoner and Stormcarved Coast. And then I'm just gonna sorcery speed this here Saiba Syphoner to get back Memory Deluge. Boink. Still holding up Negate. Tainted Indulgence. That resolves. Yeah, Memory Deluge costing 6 to flashback instead of 7 is a very big buff. That half of it is much more all benefit, no cost. Land, swing for 2, play Kitten, opponent's tapped out, so I think I just win now. Kinda doesn't matter what my opponent plays. I mean, that's not entirely true. They could play like just a pile of 2-drop removal spells this turn. Does it change the flashback? It graphically was changing the flashback. Void Rend? Oh no, that's uncounterable. How horrible. There's no way that I could possibly counter Void Rend. Yeah, I was hoping they wouldn't have a second removal spell. Oh well. I got my 2 for 1. I guess I'll just have to live with that. We will go ahead and resolve Memory Deluge at sorcery speed. Oh, hey, cool. Cards that are good. I like cards that are good. We're going to snag Saiba Syphoner and Consider. I guess we're just going to pass the turn holding up 2 negates. Is this prep for an event? Sort of. It's me prepping for an event that I will have to play a tournament for in like 2 weeks or something, and I don't know what the format is, so hypothetically, this is sort of practice. Fateful Absence on Saiba Syphoner. I kind of feel like I'm okay with that. I get these clue things, and they're pretty good. Oh, hey, cool, a kitten. Alright. Here you go, opponent. It's fascinating how this 2/2 kitten is actually on an empty board, somehow still representing a very potent threat. Which is, I don't know. I just really dig that. Kalim. Okay. That's fine. Expressive Iteration, Expressive Iteration. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm gonna play Saiba Syphoner. And get a Consider? I guess? Oh, I can get a Jwari Disruption. That's what I actually want. Land drops. Everybody wants land drops. I do need a way to actually, like, stop this thing from killing me before the game ends. That might be awkward. Okay, so let's go ahead and combat and swing and successfully do damage to the opponent and play Expressive Iteration and blink Saiba Syphoner. And I guess get back Make Disappear. And I guess get back Memory Deluge and cast Consider. And blink Saiba Syphoner. I guess get back, like, Consider. Don't really need a Stormcarved Coast. Saiba Syphoner is cool, though. I'll live with that. Alright. Pass the turn. I mean, I think I'm winning this race as it stands. Can I afford to play this Saiba Syphoner to try to increase the clock? Yeah, probably. I don't know. Alright, well, if the opponent's going to cycle, then I'm probably pretty good. This means even if they top deck more Kalim to fog one of my creatures, I'm still winning the race. Which feels probably important. Tainted Indulgence. Oh no! Alright, well, I guess we can make disappear that. And blink a Saiba Syphoner? Because we might as well. Opponent's out of mana? Oh, Fragment Reality. Or not so much out of mana. Well, I am still winning this race, I think. Let's see. What do we get here? More Consider? Oh, I'm not winning this race, actually. Interesting. Well then, cast a Consider, bin that, cast a Key to the Archive. I can probably find a way to swing this race off of a Key to the Archive, right? Demonic Tutor? I think that works. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have one Fading Hope in here, which is really all I need. Yeah, okay. Good enough. Alright, pass the turn. I have black mana next turn off Key to the Archive. I mean, they could blow up Key to the Archive and then I'd be in trouble. Alright, let's go ahead and consider. Don't really want that land. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, sure. Fable of the Mirror Breaker, sure. Key to the Archive, sure. Okay. Well, all of that was basically useless. So we're going to Demonic Tutor. Yeah, literally the only card that could do anything at all here, other than, I guess, Displacer Kitten trying to blink Key to the Archive, is Fading Hope. I'm really glad I didn't sideboard out every copy of Fading Hope. Well, okie dokie. We are going to get rid of these Fables. Now, part of the problem here is that putting this back in their hand does still just give them a 2-mana way to remove one of my Saiba Syphoners from being lethal, and still represents lethal Kalim next turn. So I will have to top deck something of the interactive variety. Test of Talents? Oh no! Thank goodness I have a 1-mana counterspell for that. Spikefield Hazard, that's something. Maybe? Maybe not. An Expressive Iteration, maybe? Okay, Kalim comes back tapped. That's what I was hoping. So one Siphoner gets tapped, the other Siphoner goes face, we Spikefield, and then we Spikefield. Simple. At no point was that ever, I don't know, like, very sketchy or anything. Alright, we get to be on the play. We get to keep a hand because it includes lands. That's nice. Okay, turn 4 Key to the Archive is something, although the opponent appears to be a deck that's probably going to be interested in countering Key to the Archive. Not super excited about Fading Hope in this matchup. Alright, opponent. I have to imagine blue-white control it is. Kalim, Kalim, Kalim. Inconveniently good against me. And me sitting here with literally nothing I can do about it. Not optimal. Unfortunately, I have to throw out this Key to the Archive because I can't afford to do nothing. Unfortunately, I have nothing in my graveyard that I can, like, get back with Saiba. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I was not actually expecting my opponent to have no interaction, but I love my opponent not having any interaction. Yeah, unfortunately, all of these spells are bad, so that hurts. Do we really have to, like, continuously not find any useful spells at all off Key to the Archive? Yeah, Doomblade versus Kalim might have been reasonable, but I was operating under the assumption that all of these are relatively equally uncastable, since I don't have the color fixing anymore. Okay. Expressive Iteration's a good draw. Go with Negate into hand and Frostboil Snarl to play. Unfortunately, I just really don't think I'm going to be able to beat a pile of Kalims. Especially not with draws like this. I think I'm probably just dramatically unfavored against most control decks playing Kalim. Is that enough of a reason to play my own Kalim, even if I don't actually think this card does anything useful in my deck? Kind of distressing if that's the case. Okay. I will pay for your first Jwari Disruption. I will not be able to pay for the second Jwari Disruption, regrettably. So they have a Kalim. Oh, I guess if you have Graveyard Hate, you can stop Kalim from doing its thing? Oh, that also makes Fading Hope slightly better against it, in that case. That it actually isn't just if you've done this 3 or more times. I thought this worked like the red cycling card, the giant 7-drop from Ikoria, but it doesn't. Interesting. There we go. Now we're looking at cards that are interesting. Do I jam Displacer Kitten this turn? Or do I wait until I have slightly more mana? Unfortunately, Kalim kind of represents a clock. I think I need more mana. Oh, I could Fading Hope my Saiba Syphoner to fizzle this ability. That's actually probably worth doing. So they conjure a Kalim, and then they don't get the draw and they don't get the Kalim. Okay. Yeah, that seems worthwhile. All of the Storm Giants attacking. Oh, opponent, that means you lose. Oh dear. Oh, I don't think that's what you wanted at all. Alright, well I'm gonna Saiba Syphoner and get back Fading Hope, apparently. Because that's what my life has turned into. Because I just want more instant speed things I can play to protect this Displacer Kitten. Okay. So you got an out to this opponent? I mean, I guess they could... Can they Kalim with no targets? Up to... Okay, so they could choose to Kalim for 0 just to put the Kalim into play. That does work. Do we want the Blue March? I don't think so. I think Blue March is mostly just worse in this deck than Fading Hope. The only times I've ever felt like the Blue March was better than Fading Hope was in decks that were playing Hinata, because it was then, with Hinata in play, able to actively remove all of your opponent's stuff. Let's go ahead and negate that. Blinking Saiba Syphoner, getting back Expressive Iteration. Okay. Then we go ahead and attack. And we play Key to the Archive and hope we hit extra turn spell to win the game. Blank Siphoner, get back Negate. Wow. Hey, cool. Extra turn spell to win the game. I'd like to Time Warp. Blinking Saiba Syphoner. Getting back, I don't know, Approach of the Second Sun. Cast Approach of the Second Sun. Blinking Saiba Syphoner. Getting back, take an extra turn. Cast Time Warp. Blinking Key to the Archive. Get an Approach of the Second Sun. Get rid of Molten Impact. Untap. Cast Approach of the Second Sun, win the game. Blink Saiba Syphoner. Get back Time Warp. I mean, that's pretty fun, right? That's pretty fun. I like that a lot. If we were 1 mana short, we wouldn't have had enough mana to cast the Time Warp. Yeah, but at that point I would have probably done something slightly different. I don't know. Okay, so this time around I think I'm supposed to keep 2 Fading Hopes, because apparently that's actually kind of useful against Kalim, more so than I thought originally. And then we trimmed a bunch of Make Disappears, I think? Was that right? I mean, last time we were playing against a pretty different deck. Still, bunch of Negates, discover the formulas, Memory Deluges. I kind of wonder if I'm supposed to play a 3rd Fading Hope. Nah. Yeah, 6 mana establishes a loop where I can, with a 1 mana spell and Time Warp, just take extra turns for the rest of the game. We are going to mulligan this hand, because we would prefer a hand with lands, which is a shame, because I like hands with Expressive Iteration in this particular mirror. This we will keep. And we'll put a Displacer Kitten at the bottom of the deck. Okay. I don't hate Key to the Archive. I don't really love jamming Key to the Archive on the draw, but it's an option that exists. Absorb energy, huh? I don't think so. I think I want card advantage. And take a look at that. We happily draw 2 pieces of card advantage. That's something. Okay, I think there's a somewhat decent chance the opponent could sideboard into like a wedding announcement. Did I want a Jwari Disruption this turn? I don't think it's likely, but it's possible. I love seeing my opponent play Consider there instead of Kalim. That implies to me that they don't have a Kalim in hand, which, given that is thus far the only card that I'm really, truly concerned about in any meaningful way, feels good to not have them play it. I wonder if I should have Expressive Iteration to there and just ran it into a counterspell. My concern was then they could Wandering Emperor me at sorcery speed. I guess if they Wandering Emperor me at sorcery speed, then I get to Fable the Mirrorbreaker, and that's not too much worse. Okay, so here's where I get to start jamming Expressive Iterations, which, if the opponent counters, is fine. And if they don't counter, is fine. I mean, Expressive Iteration's good in this matchup. Nobody can deny that. I have matchups where I think Expressive Iteration is bad, like control mirrors that actually have threats, but my opponent doesn't really have threats, so, you know, I'm safe. Alright, another Expressive Iteration, presumably another Sod. Oh no, not another Sod coming. But also kind of a big whiff-rooney for me. That's concerning. Not the best Expressive Iteration, unfortunately. Is Iteration too slow and mirrors with threats? Expressive Iteration? It kind of depends. I think I actually just negate that. It depends on how powerful the threats are. The challenge with Expressive Iteration in a lot of formats is that it's difficult sometimes to play it without giving your opponent the opportunity to resolve something like a Teferi that represents just going very over the top of what Expressive Iteration is doing. The format slash matchup where that was a serious factor was in standard Galvanic Iteration mirrors with Alrund's Epiphany. And that was mostly just because Unexpected Windfall was such a huge advantage to the first player to resolve one, that if you ever tried to resolve Expressive Iteration at any point in time other than when you were on the play, hitting every single land drop, you kind of were liable to just lose the game instantly because your opponent would resolve Unexpected Windfall. Unfortunately, we're missing a land drop here while the opponent's ramping, so that's pretty bad. Expressive Iteration was good in those matchups later in the game, but that was a very inbred sort of meta where the only matchups that really mattered were Unexpected Windfall mirrors. And Expressive Iteration was, even in the very late game, worse than just playing instant speed card advantage that didn't have that opportunity cost. So it just turned out to be worse than Behold the Multiverse or Thirst for Knowledge or things like that. Do I want this Fading Hope? I guess I kind of need it. The Restoration of Iganjo is going to beat me down otherwise. I'm going to go with no. Okay. Did they put the planes into play with the Restoration of Iganjo and then miss their land drop? I think they did. Which doesn't really make sense because it just meant they had less mana. That's curious. Let's see. Do I want to play an untapped land here so I can play around multiple Jwari Disruptions? I don't think I need to bother. I got 3 mana. They're not going to, like, do series of Jwari Disruptions in a way that matters. Do I negate the Behold the Multiverse? Yeah. Alright, and then we're just going to play tap lands. The Restoration of Iganjo is a May, so you can just choose not to discard the planes to the Restoration of Iganjo, and then you just play it as your land drop normally. Destroy each permanent you don't control. I'm sorry, what does this do? Is the same name as a permanent that dealt damage to you last turn. That's... Huh. That's a neat card. Cool. Do I choose to discard anything here? I mean, I could play Displacer Kitten and Key to the Archive. I don't know if there's necessarily very much value in playing both of those this turn. So I think I get rid of the Mountain. Cool. I like Negate. So we play the Kitten. That resolves even. Sweet. No blocks. I think that I'm happy to not see them attack with Haul there. My life would have been real awkward if I had to consider about chump blocking Haul in that scenario. Okay, so if we manage to top deck a Syphoner, life ain't too bad. Otawara bounce Reflection. Okay. Wow, they messed up. I think they should have bounced Displacer Kitten, like, for sure. Okay, so let's go ahead and play Key to the Archive, Blinking Reflection, getting another 2/2. Nothing good off Key to the Archive, but I guess Despark is interesting. Is Doomblade better? Doomblade's probably better. Do I want Doomblade now? Or do I just want it in my graveyard for later? I probably get rid of the Fable and hold on to the Doomblade. If they fire up Hall, I think I Doomblade the Herald because I can't get through the Hall. Okay, so here I think I Doomblade Herald, blink the Fable, double block Architect. Take one. Oh, actually, I know I can block the one with the Displacer Kitten. This leaves me open to getting hit with a Wandering Emperor. I have a negate for that, but I'd like to not be forced to use my final negate. I think I can take the one and not really care. Oh no, if they had a Wandering Emperor, they would just still play it and I'd still need to negate in order to stop it from giving first strike to the Restoration. So yeah, I should have blocked. That was poorly done. Okay, so I definitely have to negate this. The question is, what do I blink? Do I put a card in the graveyard or do I make a creature? I think I'm probably supposed to make a creature. Get to loot away a land. Hold up a Make Disappear. Works for me. I don't desperately need more mana, so I think I hold back a 2/2 to chump block. I don't want to expose Displacer Kitten to getting hit by another Herald of Vengeance, so I don't think I attack with that. Oh, this doesn't play around Herald of Vengeance at all, though, because they still play Herald of Vengeance and I lose my blocker. Yeah. Not only that, I could cast Make Disappear, which doesn't actually accomplish anything here. So I guess I just choose not to do that. Okay, no attacks. They fire up Hall. Oh, shoot, this... I can't Make Disappear to blink the Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. Shoot. Make Disappear, why do you have to not be something that I can just cast on a whim? Ugh. Oh no. Flooding out! No castable spells, a little too painful. Harsh. I had any proactively castable spell, I'd be in a pretty good spot here. Okay. I mean, that's pretty decent. Do we successfully get anything we can do with it? No, not really. Bolt accomplishes nothing. Dang. I didn't really think that was losable, but I guess it didn't take as many land drops as I was expecting in a row to successfully fizzle. Do I have any advice for someone who wants to start streaming? I don't know that I do. I'm not even entirely sure I have any clue what I'm doing, to be honest with you. I kind of just started streaming because I wanted a reason to focus on my play and talk my lines out loud better, and then just kind of forced myself to keep doing it from that perspective. I have like no idea how to be successful. I think it's mostly completely accidental. So ironically, if that one copy of Make Disappear had been a Fading Hope, we would have been in a much better spot. Although that said, the opponent played a bunch of spells that also make me kind of want Make Disappear over Fading Hope too. So I think we just run it back and hope not to have the game go that weird. Only complaint is no consistent schedule. Yeah, I'm not great about that. Having a consistent schedule, I think, does help quite a bit. Okay, this is a reasonable hand that I am more than satisfied with. I think I just want to play Consider on turn 2 in this position. Yeah, MTG is, I think, a pretty... Insular is not the right word, but like the people who watch MTG are very interested in just explicitly MTG. When I stream non-MTG games, I get like 14, 20 viewers, maybe. Do I want to jam Expressive Iteration this turn? I'm kind of in a rough spot if it doesn't resolve. I think I'd rather try to play it next turn. Stray brought some people. That's true. I think we went like 20 to 40 viewers for most of the time we were streaming Stray. Would Leer Disciple to Drown be good in this deck? No. This is Alchemy, so it's the nerfed version of Leer, which is just not playable because you can't play spells on your opponent's turn. I definitely want Saiba Syphoner. That is a very good card. I forget about the nerf to Leer a lot too, and then get very, very disappointed when I actually remember the nerf while trying to put it into a deck. Wandering Emperor, eh? Well, that does not allow me to Saiba Syphoner this turn. So much for my capacity to be proactive. Rip. Restoration of Iganjo. Do I negate that just to be proactive? I think I do. My logic is I actually kind of want to bait the opponent into fighting over that to resolve Restoration, because then I get to resolve Discover the Formula, which is just way better. But unfortunately, opponent was not interested in making that exchange. Yeah, I think we just pass here. Saiba Syphoner. If it resolves, I think I just snag Negate again. Fragment Reality, sure. More than fine with me. Absorb energy, okay. No complaints about that. So the opponent Field of Ruins here, they don't. Okay. Restoration of Iganjo. Do I negate that? Probably. Probably. I'm not really interested in giving my opponent more threats. Maybe I'm supposed to absorb energy that, so that I can have Discover the Formula plus Negate up on next turn? Or rather up on this turn, and just resolve that. Yeah, that actually was better. I was thinking about maximizing the value out of Absorb Energy and how I wanted to try to counter an instant with it, but that just isn't relevant here compared to having Discover the Formula plus Negate on this turn. Okay, so most likely this is Behold the Multiverse. But on the off chance that it is Sod coming, I think I'm supposed to just jam Discover the Formula here, while they can't actually cast Sod coming from exile. Wandering Emperor. Okay, that's incredibly good for me. I would much rather be resolving Discover the Formula than resolving Wandering Emperor on average. That said, this is a weird combination of cards to get, but okay. Okay, so Expressive Iteration, finding Syphoner would be really cool right about now. This card's Behold the Multiverse at this point, I think. If it is Sod coming, then they try to counter Expressive Iteration. I think that I just absorb energy that. Cool. We hit Syphoner. Do I play Syphoner? No, I don't think so. I think I just go for the land. And then we're just going to Spikefield Hazard the Emperor twice on their upkeep. If this is Behold, I'm absorbing Behold. Spikefield Emperor. Spikefield Emperor. Do I have any 1-mana counters? I don't. Then we play Syphoner while they don't have any cards, and I just get back Discover the Formula for maximum card advantage. They attack for 2, we ignore that. Every copy of Kitten, very well. Okay, so we Displacer Kitten, and then we pass, stopping the opponent's upkeep. In their upkeep, we Discover the Formula, blinking Saiba Syphoner, get back Negate with Saiba Syphoner, discover discounts Negate to 1 mana. If the opponent counters Discover, then they're back to top decking. If they don't counter Discover, then I'm incredibly far ahead. No, we draw Negate anyway. Whoops. Okay, yeah. And now we've got a loop that probably wins the game very hard. So I think I got pretty lucky in both the sideboard games that my opponent never found the Kalims. I kind of got the impression that maybe they boarded the Kalims out, not realizing that they are actually incredibly good in control mirrors. I'm not certain that... I don't know whether the Blink Kitten is, like, actually good in control mirrors, but the fact that I get to be the deck playing the Saiba Syphoner feels very, very nice. That part I like. Although I do still think that I'm probably not favored against a deck playing 4 copies of Kalim. Probably? Maybe. I don't know. I mean, a hard control deck playing 4 copies of Kalim that also can just play draw go well, I think I'm not situated well against. Just because I feel like they can play Kalim as one threat, and then if the rest of their deck is just card draw and counter spells, I'm probably not going to be able to resolve anything meaningful. Okay, we take the play. We're going to elect to try to go for a hand that has 2 mana, and then we will keep the hand that has 2 mana. I think I get rid of Absorb Energy here, probably. Which might not actually bode particularly well for Absorb Energy as far as being a playable card goes. Oh, okay. There's more Absorb Energies, so I guess if I need them. Opponents on mono-white life gain, it would appear. Voice of the Blessed is pretty annoying, but I also want to make a land drop. It's fine. We'll just top deck and untap land naturally, right? No problems? Displacer Kitten's not ideal. Make Disappear is not a land drop. Well, that didn't really work out very well. More Voice of the Blessed. Okay, so I would like to top deck Molten Impact or a land. Okay, that's pretty bad. I appreciate them playing a spell that I'm allowed to counter, so they're playing Clerics, not specifically life gain. Cool, 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 cool. Having to play the Jwari Disruption instead of getting to hold up the one spell that I can actually cast is sad. Hi. Okay. Activating Hive rather than, like, playing a spell that is castable, I kind of appreciate. It's polite. Okay. So they're going to fire up Hive again and go for lethal, meaning I could play Saiba Syphoner and block Lunarch Veteran, and then not really have any recourse against the Hive of the Eye Tyrant. So I think I have to play Fable the Mirror Breaker and rely on the loot to find Fading Hope plus Molten Impact. Oh, cool. Liesa. That's way less scary than them firing up the Hive. Do I block? How much is 1 mana worth? Not very much in this situation. I'm going to go with not very much. There's Molten Impact. Now I need a Fading Hope. Well, that's not good enough, huh? Ironically, if I hadn't drawn the Make Disappear, no, I'd still be dead. The auto-yielding here should give them a pretty good indication that they can fire up Hive of the Eye Tyrant to kill me. Okay. I would say Kitten is not impressing me in situations where I'm losing the game to what I would term probably outside factors. It won a surprising amount of control games so far, to be fair. Okay, do I have any way to deal with Liessa? No, because I have only found Molten Impact, huh? Which does not answer Liessa. That's a shame. We're having pretty consistent issues dealing with flyers. Maybe I just need more Fading Hopes than I'm playing currently? Is Voltage Surge worth it against Voice of the Blessed decks? Is Seismic Wave worth it against these decks? Seismic Wave probably has to be worth it here. Maybe I should just be playing Discover the Formula main as like a 2-of? Possibly? But if that's the case, it's probably conceding that I can't actually afford to play 3 copies of Cat and 3 copies of Key. I mean, I think this is fine. We do have to draw a blue source eventually, but surely we'll draw a blue source eventually, right? I mean, even if I draw a red source, I still get Fable, and that's like something. I don't think I'm supposed to prioritize Molten Impacting the Cleric of Lifespawn over developing Fable when I'm so desperate for blue mana. But I will say that I am going to be pretty bummed when they just like, oh, cool, Skyclave Apparition. No, I don't care about that at all. I thought they were going to like play something that gained life. Sweet. All right, well, what if I were to just attack with this 2/2 because I don't care if it dies? Sweet. Play the island. Do I just jam Kitten then? Because I feel like I don't care enough about my opponent's creatures to not just jam the Kitten. I'm hoping I don't have to worry about a removal spell. Yeah, Lazel? I don't know. I don't care about that. What does Lazel even do? I don't know. Are you a cleric? No. Nope. No attacks? Really? Huh, okay. Well then, let's go ahead and Molten Impact the... what? Cleric, I guess, probably, because I don't want it to grow. We're not going to blink anything. Do I want to sack my 2/2 just to get a treasure? I think I kind of do want to do that, yes. I'm pretty restricted on blue mana, and I think having a treasure is helpful. If the opponent wants to do something with Lazel, I'm fine with that. If they don't, I'm fine with that. Righteous Valkyrie, I'm fine with that. Luminarch Aspirant, I'm fine with that. Okay. So, if I just play Consider, I flicker Displacer Kitten. If I play Saiba Syphoner, I get back Molten Impact. I feel like playing Saiba Syphoner is better by a lot. They put the counter on Lazel. That's fine. We play Siphoner. We get back Impact. We get a blue source. That's great. We Molten Impact the Luminarch Aspirant, kill the Skyclave Apparition, flicker the Siphoner, which unfortunately with nothing in the graveyard doesn't accomplish anything. Now I could tap out to bounce their Lazel to make it lose the counter and kill the Righteous Valkyrie by going Consider Molten Impact. But I think I would rather just hold up Protection, considering that I'm not anywhere even close to being dead. Plus I can chump block the Lazel and then cast Consider, blinking the Siphoner, which is like totally fine. Except they're going to gain 2 life here, which makes the voice go up. I'm probably supposed to just take the 6 from the Lazel and kill the voice before it gets bigger. I don't think I need a Seismic Wave right now. Oh, right, but Consider puts it in the graveyard. Cool. So I can get it back later if I need it. Luminarch Aspirant, that's probably fine. I don't know. I mean, I got nothing else to do with my mana, so I guess I should blink it. And counter it for free, probably. Yeah, we'll take a Seismic Wave. Why not? Okay, so let's see. How do we do this? Is there a sequence on this that makes sense? Seismic Wave targeting Lazel and face, kills a Luminarch Veteran, blinks Lazel, then I Molten Impact the Lazel. Is there any way that I can kill all of my opponent's creatures here? I don't think so. So let's just kill the Righteous Valkyrie then. Lazel's a May. Oh, it is a May. That's gross. Wow. How do I make you stop? Thank you. Okay. Let's get to Consider. Okay, well, we'll still just pass. Luminarch Aspirant, sure. That mostly dies to Seismic Wave. Probably should have done this before the Luminarch Aspirant thingy, but I forgot. Oh, okay. Well, they forgot that it was a May, so good for me. Blink Saiba Syphoner. Get back Seismic Wave again. More Molten Impacts. Okay, yay! Loops is good. Do we get to say Kitten was impressive there? Or was that just fine? And Kitten was kind of secondary to the regular, everyday fine. I'm depressed to say that I don't think I can actually afford to play Key to the Archive on the draw, so we'll play Voltage Surge instead. I do think maybe I need to play more Discover the Formulas then, though. How come Seismic Wave doesn't fizzle there? Because Seismic Wave has 2 targets. One targets the creature and the other targets the face. And as long as any of the targets of a spell are still legal, the spell will resolve. It's only when all of the targets are illegal that the spell fizzles. We can keep here and just hope we top deck a blue source. It'll probably be fine. Or failing that, we can top deck Fable of the Mirror Breaker and be in the same position we were in last time, where we just hope to top deck a spell eventually. But thankfully, we top deck a blue source at exactly the time period that we wanted to top deck a blue source. So now I can make disappear if they try to play something creature-ish, but the fact that they're attacking before playing their creature implies that they do not have a creature that will pump the Voice of the Blessed. Oh, I guess Voice of the Blessed doesn't actually black market connections. That's interesting. In a life gain deck? That actually makes a lot of sense to me. Cool. Not really going to allow it, but, you know, cool. So I could play Fable of the Mirror Breaker here. I think I'd rather play Seismic Wave. Kind of just hoping the opponent plays some dorky little 1/1s that get blown out by Seismic Wave. I personally have not used Facebook ever. I think I made an account and then never logged on to it when I was like 14 because my parents asked me to. Alright, well, target Voice of the Blessed, target opponent's face. Huh. I'm probably supposed to Expressive Iteration to try to hit a land drop here. We hit 2 land drops. I dig that. Okay. How important is it for me to hold up Make Disappear here? Probably important enough to justify playing the untap land this turn. Through Facebook? That is certainly very curious, yes. Okay, well, I feel like Fading Hoping Hive of the Eye Tyrant is probably worth my time. Displacer Kitten. Oh yeah, you seem fun. I do not mind doing Displacer Kitten things next turn. Not this turn, but, you know, next turn. Displacer Kitten blinking Fable of the Mirror Breakers. Pretty consistently fun. Liesa, that's mostly completely fine. Here... Nah, I don't really feel like we need to get rid of any of these, to be entirely honest. So we're going to play Displacer Kitten. We're going to Fading Hope the Liesa. We're going to blink the Fable of the Mirror Breaker. We're going to get a 2/2. We're going to attack. We are not going to play the Spikefield Hazard as a land because I want to protect my Displacer Kitten. Oh no, Skyclave Apparition. That could kill my Displacer Kitten if I didn't hold up protection. Boink. They're so cute. So hard to pin down. I mean, they could have a removal spell for the Displacer Kitten number 2. They do not. Okay. I mean, I kind of like both of these cards, so I don't think we discard either of them. We play Expressive Iteration, hoping we hit an untapped land so that I can hold up Discover the Formula. That sounds like it'd be fun. We don't. We don't hit that. Oh no. Alright, well, Spikefield Hazard to hand. Voltage Surge. Combat. Swings. Make a treasure. Voltage Surge. Sack a treasure. Blink Fable. Get a 2/2. Spikefield Luminarch. Blink Fable. Get a 2/2. Whee! Alright, beatdown backdoor plan enabled. We are representing 12 damage currently. If the opponent plays a spell, I represent another 2. I don't know how the opponent gets out of it. I mean, they can stay alive. Oh no, they can't stay alive by activating Hive because I actually have creature lands now too. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how the opponent gets out of this at all. Fable does feel very, very busted when you end up getting like 6 Goblin Shamans out of it. That's a lot more Goblin Shamans than I think you typically expect to get out of your Fable. Hey! Himrack go MTG. Or Himrack go MTG. I see. For some reason, I don't know if it actually made a difference from the way that I said it, but my brain combined the first 2 words. Thanks for the raid. You join us some blinking Fable of the Mirror Breakers with Displacer Kittens. How'd your stream go? Aww. Poor opponent. Couldn't find the way out. Was expecting Azorius. Oh. Yeah, I tried Jeskai. The white didn't seem entirely worth it. I'm pretty sold on the idea of playing Fable of the Mirror Breaker and Saiba Syphoner, and then just like Molten Impact's kind of excellent along with it. So let's go with trim these to mainboard the Discover the Formulas, I think is what we came to. I'm also still really unsure about Absorb Energy. It has felt horrifically medium. Part of me wants to, like, figure out a way to play Divide by Zero. I got all this extra sideboard room, but to do that I'd need to find room for 2 more slots. I mean, I guess I could just play 2 Divide by Zero. I just don't think that's correct. I don't know. Maybe Divide by Zero is a good card. We can give it a shot. Who says you're required to play 3 copies or 4 copies of Divide by Zero? What if we just didn't? You know? Maybe that's valid. Wait, no. I want 1 Disdainful Stroke. Alright, so what are the 3? Mascot Exhibition. Teachings of the Archaic, and Environmental Sciences. Hypothetically could play Start from Scratch. Yeah. Some of these are potentially more interesting when we're representing looping them from the graveyard over and over, but I don't know. Probably not. I don't know. Would Thayan Evokers make sense? I don't know. I'm not, like, super sold on Thayan Evokers. It just seems like it takes a really long time to get going. So, like, I worry that, like, I'm kind of likely to just die while playing it, because it doesn't, like, block well, like Fable of the Mirror Breakers does. Okay. Let's try this. We definitely keep the hands that can play Fable of the Mirror Breaker on turn 3. Now, do I hold up Spikefield Hazard on turn 1, or do I play Hall of the Storm Giants in case we top deck Den of the Bugbear? I think I play Hall. Ooh, okay. I don't hate Expressive Iteration, although I like Fable of the Mirror Breaker a little more. But eventually Expressive Iteration is useful. Undercity Plunder? Oh no. Let's see. We're going to discard Spikefield Hazard, I think, and then nothing else. You can have one of my cards, opponent, if it means I get to have all of my cards. Divine Purge! Oh no! My one Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I like all of my cards. So we're going to hold on to all of my cards. And then we're going to play Key to the Archive. Because the opponent's tapped out, so that sounds like a good deal. Demonic Tutor can go into the graveyard. I like all my other cards more than Demonic Tutor. Which probably is saying something, isn't it? Ooh, okay, the opponent's actually on Esper, not blue-black. Huh. City Stalker? No! My Fable. That's a bummer. Alright, well, that's Expressive Iteration, and I like the idea of Discover the Formula, and the idea of casting an Expressive Iteration. Let's see. Could Molten Impact the City Stalker, but I don't really care, so I guess let's not do that. We're just going to make this land drop instead. And hold up, make disappear. That seems good. I like having just mono card draw. Okay, I will take a tiny bit of damage. I feel like this is an acceptable trade to make. Oh, cool. So, I mean, I could play Expressive Iteration, but I feel like I'm probably supposed to just pass and hold up Discover the Formula plus make disappear. Like, that sounds strong? Oh, hey, Wandering Emperor. Cool. Let's go ahead and play Discover the Formula while my opponent's tapped out. This was a mistake. I wasn't supposed to tap like this. If I had drawn another... I mean, I'm not supposed to leave 2 mana stuck up in Key to the Archive. I was thinking, like, I wanted the color fixing, but I didn't. I just wanted to leave up 2 blue. But I was not punished for it in any way that matters. Let's divide by 0. Why not? We'll get a Mascot Exhibition. It's protection from City Stalker. If the opponent wants to play Wandering Emperor again, I don't really care. Alright, so I've got Saiba Syphoner, I've got Reflection of Kiki Jiki. I kind of think that means that I win. Let's go ahead and play Fable. Play an island, pass the turn. Opponent can do 6 damage to me here. I don't think I will mind very much if they choose to. What am I going to get with this Saiba Syphoner? No blocks. I guess I could just get Divide by 0 and start dividing City Stalkers. That's probably what I'm supposed to do. Diviner of Fates. Alright, well, what if I were to divide that by 0? Put that back in your hand. Then I guess I get maybe Environmental Sciences? Why not? And we'll go ahead and copy this Saiba Syphoner at the end of my opponent's turn. And we'll get back Divide by 0. And we might as well discard this Environmental Sciences and this Spikefield Hazard. And then, let's see. What do we want to do? Guess cast Expressive Iteration. Oh, hey, cool, Displacer Kitten. I like that card. We can play Stormcarved Coast. Do I have enough mana to play Displacer Kitten and other stuff? Not quite this turn, maybe next turn. Make some additional mana. I mean, I guess I could just choose not to divide by 0 the City Stalker Connoisseur this turn. Just go to 2. Be fine with that? Yeah, you know what, I can just go to 2. Who cares? I made a land drop already this turn, right? Yeah, okay. The fact that all of my lands in hand are also spells is making it kind of tricky to see at a glance. Tainted Indulgence, cool. I am totally fine completely ignoring that. Down to 2. I mean, I guess I could have chump blocked and then like thrown a Spikefield at their face just to gain some life. Probably. I don't know. Guess that would have been fine. Well then, let's see. So for starters, I think that I would like to get rid of a City Stalker Connoisseur and blink Saiba Syphoner. I'm not even entirely sure that blinking Saiba Syphoner is the right move here. Okay. We are in fact done here. There's a possibility that I'm just supposed to like blink Key to the Archive a couple of times looking for Time Warp, but that sounds more boring than just divide by 0ing every turn for the rest of the game. Do I want Negate against the opponent's deck? I don't know. Maybe? Divine Purge sure is a card that they're running. Alright, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. Oh hey, cool, that solved all my sideboarding decision problems. Okay. I mean, this looks like a hand that has Expressive Iteration and Fable of the Mirror Breaker, so keep. Opponent has elected to mulligan. Very well. Do I want to play Consider on turn 1? I don't really have a strong reason to, I don't think. Opponent's mana is looking like it's troubling them. Undercity Plunder. Well, let's go ahead and discard Consider. And then nothing else? I mean, the opponent is missing land drops. Not necessarily missing land drops, but they mulliganed and are low on cards. Giving them more resources isn't necessarily good for me here. I think I can probably just get rid of Fable, I think. Ooh, drawing Make Disappear is excellent. Targeted discard hitting Fable of the Mirror Breaker was like one of the things that I was passively sort of worried about. I kind of want to not play Fable of the Mirror Breaker into them potentially having a counterspell here. No, it's fine. Because next turn I want to go Expressive Iteration, Make Disappear. Okay, and they don't have the counterspell anyway. Yeah, because if I don't Fable this turn, then next turn I kind of have no real good options, assuming that I do Make Disappear. I guess if they do nothing and then pass back doing nothing again, but yeah, not what happens. So you're saying I have to discard one of these cards, huh? I don't really want to discard any of them. I guess Make Disappear is what I discard on the off chance that I don't find a blue source off of the Expressive Iteration. Oh, but off the Fable too? Yeah, I guess that wasn't very likely. Okay, Expressive Iteration. Ooh, wow. Okay, that's pretty bad. It's actually very bad. Huh. I guess we go with the Siphoner then? Well, that gives an opening for the opponent to do, like, another City Stalker Connoisseur, which would be a serious problem. Undercity Plunder. Okay, so we get rid of Divide by Zero, and we don't get rid of anything else. I think I'd rather give the opponent a card than lose either of my cards. Okay, opponent says go, doesn't attack with City Stalker Connoisseur, wants to deny me access to a treasure. Understandable. We fire off Expressive Iteration. Possibly gets quenched, but I just pay for it if it does. Ooh, gets straight up countered, huh? Okay. But we've got Reflection of Kiki Jiki chilling. Diviner of Fates means the opponent can... Wait, is that from my deck? This can give them lands? Oh, I thought it conjured non-lands. Oh, that's not as good as I thought then. Huh, okay. Oof, still no blue source, huh? Do I want to get more treasures here? Or do I want to get more activations of Saiba Syphoner? I'm pretty restricted on blue sources no matter how I play this. So I think I'm supposed to try to get an additional treasure here rather than an additional activation of Saiba Syphoner. I mean, could choose to play Fable of the Mirror Breaker, I suppose. I don't really like that idea, I don't think. Alright, opponent, what do you got? Diviner of Fates. Yeah, I definitely don't love the idea of that triggering both Diviner of Fates. So even though it uses up more of our treasures, I think I divide by zero that. And hope the opponent doesn't have a blue source to replay it. Think we go for environmental sciences here to try to get an island? They have the blue source. Oh, that's a good top deck opponent. Rude. I do have Make Disappear, which combos well with Saiba Syphoner. Oh, they get to discard City Stalker and conjure 2 creatures? Wow. That's kind of having it all, huh, opponent? Should I activate Reflection on my end of turn? It commits me to actually targeting something, but there's only one thing that I can meaningfully target, and it's the thing that I want to target anyway, so whatever. I might not actually be able to beat this setup that they had. Especially not with me having missed so many land drops. If I had like 7 lands in play right now, this would be an easier story. Jeez. Yeah? Yeah, I mean, that's actually pretty likely in the grand scheme of things, isn't it? Okay, I can't do anything about that. I mean, I could sack a bunch of stuff to... Oh, this conjures Kalims whenever you discard it for any reason? That's a really random bit of text. Okay. Huh. Yeah, no, I'm not really going to be capable of stopping any of this with the amount of mana that I'm constrained into working with. Cute. Okay. Yeah. Missing land drops, not a good idea. Not even once. That said, no desire for changes. No block with the token. No, because keeping the token around meant that I could sacrifice it to the make disappear. But the opponent didn't have anything that they wanted to do at sorcery speed, so unfortunately I didn't get to really take advantage of that anyway. Okay, this is very good. We get turn 2 Consider to try to find our land drop for turn 3 Fable. Okay, so we have our land drops. Do I want Kitten with this hand? I think I would prefer interaction. Okay, Fading Hope kind of counts as interaction. Meaning I do have the choice to go turn 2 Expressive Iteration holding up Fading Hope, but I don't think that that's got a high enough likelihood of working to be worth doing over just playing Fable. Cool. Opponent does not have the Negate on turn 2. That makes me very happy. Power Word Kill got kept in. Huh, okay. I don't really think I need Fading Hopes, since the opponent didn't have the turn 3 Conniver. I think we just play Expressive Iteration looking for finding a counterspell. We fail to find a counterspell, but I guess Discover the Formula is probably good in this position. I mean, it probably just gets discarded to a City Stalker Connoisseur, but yeah. If that happens, it happens. Ooh, tap land. Delicious. Quite love that. Let's see, what do I got? I can Saiba Syphoner back a Consider in this position. I kind of feel like I'd rather Expressive Iteration holding up Jwari Disruption than just playing a Saiba Syphoner. My position improves a lot if I can get like an actual counterspell out of my deck and into either my graveyard or hand. And in this case, Negate into my actual hand is somewhat an improvement. Cast down. We will negate that. I would like to defend my reflection of Kiki-Jiki that is about to become unsummoning sick. Kind of forces the opponent's hand to do something regarding it. And if they do something regarding it, then I get to discover the formula. Probably. Not guaranteed, but likely. Yep, okay. Reflection dies. That means I will be attempting to resolve discover the formula. We discard one card to hand size. That'll be... probably the Riverglide Pathway. Alright, opponent. You get to do stuff. What do you resolve when you have the option to resolve anything you want? A Wandering Emperor. Somehow I'm not actually very concerned by that. Let's go with Key to the Archive. And I don't know whether I'm going to play Fable of the Mirror Breaker here or not. Ooh, I'm definitely taking Time Warp. That seems very good. I want all my cards. They're all good. Every single one of these is good. Oh dear. I guess we get rid of Jwari Disruption. And then play Fable. And then pass. I mean, I feel like I'm not too many turns away from just winning the game now. Like, next turn? I guess next turn is kind of a pretty good turn to just win the game, if my opponent doesn't have interaction. So let's go ahead and clue. We're looking for land drops, because my next couple of turns are just going to involve casting Time Warp over and over and over and over and over. Don't really need this Spikefield, don't really need this Molten Impact. Would prefer untap lands if possible. Thank you, deck. Would like to swing my 2/2 at Wandering Emperor to get additional mana. Fine by me, thank you, deck. And now's the part where I play the Time Warp, and the opponent kind of just was hoping that I didn't have the Time Warp, and now the opponent cries, I think. Yeah. Mostly just lots of crying. Alright, we Saiba Syphoner back the Time Warp. We pass the turn. We flip the Fable. We play land. We cast the Time Warp. Yeah. So just... Man, Time Warp is a fun card when you have Saiba Syphoner and Reflection of Kiki-Jiki. It was like... that Reflection of Kiki-Jiki could have been at the first chapter, and I still had the ability to cast enough Time Warps to assemble an infinite loop. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, we did have enough mana to discover the formula and Time Warp this turn. We actually might have had enough to discover the formula and Time Warp last turn, but I wanted to cast Time Warp and then Saiba Syphoner while holding up Divide by Zero. I don't think I had enough mana to do that, because if they had countered Discover the Formula, I wouldn't have been able to fight over it. I feel like this iteration of the deck, especially the Divide by Zero, the added flexibility of that feeling nice, is getting a lot closer to kind of what I was envisioning. I'm still not sure if the Key to the Archive is, like, actively good, but the Time Warp angle seems nice to have access to at the very least. This is definitely beginning to resemble a deck that I think could actually be good. I'm liking these improvements.